Welcome everyone, sorry about the delay. Yeah, I got a little bit distracted and I'm sorry. And I'm glad you're here. But we're live. So, we are hunting for Irish whales, which really just means we're flying over Ireland and then we're flying over to Wales. But it was a good play on words, I thought. So yeah, we're starting here at Galway. Nice, crisp, early morning. We'll get to see the sunrise as we fly eastward. Some decent cloud cover, but not too much. Enough to make the golden hour look fantastic. Have some people in the chat here waiting to go, patiently waiting on my very late sorry butt. So I plead your forgiveness and we'll get started. Papa Joe B is here, just in the flight plan, which I inadvertently forgot to put in correctly. It's been a day. Ed Reed is here. Welcome, Ed. Glad you're here. Hope you're recovering well. And Murphy says, and so it was decided that in search of Irish whales, we went forth and flew from Ireland to Wales. Precisely, my friend. Scotland 737 Project is here. Hello, Darren. Hope you're well. Tortuga Gaming is also here. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Glad you're here. Billbro is here. Welcome, my friend. Hope you're well. Catbat9 is also here. Good evening, afternoon, or what have you. Noel is here. Welcome, welcome. John E is here, feeling a little under the weather. Could use some air time. Ireland, try to hang with you for at least. Well, I don't push yourself too much, and I'm glad you're going to be along, and I hope you recover well. And Allie resubscribed at tier 1. Many thanks, Allison. I'm very humbled and grateful for the subscription over on Twitch. Merlin Flyer is here. Welcome, welcome. Hope you're well. Allison is here in the chat. How are you? Hope you had a pleasant weekend. Dougal's here. Good afternoon, evening. Aircraft suggestion. I am in the community mod for the Diamond DA40. A 172 might be a little on the slow end, so the finances should be more than enough. The SR22 should be plenty as well. Jefferson 2001 is in the chat. Welcome, my friend. Hope you're well. Oh, evening in Spain for Catbat. Well, good evening. Allison had a very quiet and lazy weekend. And a nasty headache. I hate those. Well, I'm glad everyone's here. I'm, again, very sorry for being late. But I am grateful you are all patient and here. So, as I said, we are in Galway. Running scattered clouds. The local time in the sim is 0800 in the morning. As we hunt for Irish whales. Mine is going in a million places right now. Scotland is doing his UK north to south in the Blériot. Good luck. We are on the East USA server, Wisdom. Alright, let's say we get things started. As mentioned before, we are in the DA40-NGX. So it is the community mod. I gives it a little extra speed. I like it. So as we see the sunrise and the very blinding beacon as Murphy is patrolling the skies. It is dark, but we're not having to land in the dark, probably. So we're going to turn on our handy dandy headlamp. Battery goes on. I don't think this has a beacon. So we'll put on position lights. Get that going. We're going to turn that guy on. Start the engine. Going to add some mixture in, crack the throttle, try that again. And we're started. Wisdom, it is the East USA. Okay, so taxi lights go on. I'm going to turn that little guy off. We're going to adjust the CDI. We're going to... Okay, the flight director comes on. Theory. Avionics come on. There we go. Now that works. Gonna set altitude. We're going to go for 3,500 feet. Set our vertical speed for 500 feet a minute. Air pressure fine. Or altimeter change. Gauge that. So we only have to hit one button. Okay, so we're full fuel. We're letting temps get up into range. Oh, no, lights are on. Okay. Instrument lights. There, now we can see things. Now we don't need the spotlight. Alright, so let's release the parking brake and let's head towards the runway. To bring up my taxi guide. How about that? We're right there. So there's John E. We're going to turn to the right. Use that runway for the takeoff. Ooh. Should be there should be plenty of room to turn around when we get to the end. Go ahead and add one notch of flaps in. Oh. Wait for everyone to get towards the departure end of the runway. Nice paint scheme on the Bonanza. Cool. There appears to be a Mooney. We're gonna go ahead and take off and do our circle, our standard traffic orbit. And we're airborne. I do as well, Allison. And they've never been more fun to do in flight sim. Because it's oh so pretty. We'll begin our left-hand orbit as we let traffic get in the air and circle up. We have quite the crowd today at Fireflies, which is awesome. Uh-oh. Wisdom SP just subscribed over on YouTube. Many thanks, my friend. I do appreciate it. Glad you enjoy the content well enough to do that. We see Tortuga begin rolling. We're going to go ahead and get in the cockpit. And we're going to go ahead and activate the AP. So we're going to go ahead and turn on course. And as we see Santa Murph in the distance, all I can think of is, oh Christmas tree, how lovely are your branches. Oh Christmas Mooney, oh Christmas Mooney. We have Santa Murph in his Christmas Mooney. As his sleigh. This is a fun little airplane. I do enjoy it a little bit. Has they are indeed bright lights. Yes, sir. You see Papa Joe B, Tortuga, Dougal. There's Murph. There's Zostrus. as we are climbing to cruise altitude. And USA PR1 is off the ground. It certainly will, Ed. It certainly will. Absolutely tremendous. 3,500, Google. That is confirmed. With an altimeter setting of 2992. So there's John E, there's Bell Bro, there's Dougal, Merlin Flyer, Pat Bat, Murphy, USA at PR1, there's Tortuga and Papa Joe B, and Commandant Molly. So it appears to be a beautiful morning here in virtual Ireland, as we kind of glimpse words are hard. Glimpse around. Let's get in the cockpit a little bit. We're almost at cruise altitude, so we're going to reduce power to about, we'll say 85%. Ish, because of reasons. Hope everyone's weekend has been well. Getting rested as much as possible before the upcoming work standard business week. I've had a fairly good weekend. Played some virtual tabletop with some friends. Tabletop gaming yesterday. Did that for about 10 hours, which was a blast. Can't wait to do that again. Aha! Last week of work for Allie for the year. That sounds awesome. I know a week from yesterday, I've got some plans. A week, it's coming Saturday. A week from yesterday. Time's weird. My brain's kind of all over the place right now. Got some plans on a Saturday, and then there will be Christmas. And then after that, a week after that will be New Year's. That's alright, Kingsman. Glad you're along even in spirit. You're always welcome. I just figured out what the DA40 kind of sounds like. It sounds like a box fan. Like one of those rounded edge or rounded corner square box fan. Just going really fast. It just kind of, I just had that thought. I'm having a lot of finanzas tonight. Of course, it was awesome to see that the Caernarfon planes have been mostly fixed, although there seems to be some issues with the 182 yet. see, where is that aircraft mob? I do believe on Two-Tone Murphy's Discord, if you go to the engineering wing and look at the section modded aircraft, it should be in there. Otherwise, it is available on flightsim.to if you type in DA40-NGX, and I believe I put a link to it in the Colonel Fork live streams post when I posted the initial flight plan. Good. That's good to hear, Murphy. I'm glad that they're aware of them, because I really like the 182 and I'd love to fly it more, but it causes a lot of problems and it makes it difficult to fly in a group. Evening, Lukester. That's awesome. I've heard very good and somewhat concerning things about Cyberpunk 2077. Heard that it has its share of bugs, but as someone that's enjoyed Bethesda games in the past, that doesn't concern me terribly. But in general, I've heard good things about it. I would like to pick it up and play it, but that's not currently in the cards. It's fine. We'll just call it one of the items of delayed gratification. And that's okay. There's nothing wrong with waiting. That's fair. I would more than likely either pick it up on... I think my only real option to pick up Cyberpunk is PC. Because I don't think it's out... I'm not sure if it's out on the Xbox One. And I don't have the means to get the latest and greatest version of the Xbox. But I would... but I'd probably enjoy it more on the PC anyhow. And see, it didn't stay nighttime terribly long. It's not dark any longer. As we head across the Emerald Isle. I'd love to give some interesting tidbits, but most of you are familiar, and I have no idea where I'm going. So if there's any interesting tidbits about where we're flying, feel free to put them in the chat. All I can sit here and say is, man, this is a beautiful country, and I would love to visit at some point in the future. Let's see, PC currently sounds like the best of the bunch. It's PS4 and Xbox One with the biggest issues. That makes sense. You can run Flight Sim looking like this and you'd be fine. Good to know. Let's see, the only thing wrong with waiting is the waiting part. 100%. It's, and that's, I think, at least in my worldview, waiting, it is the hardest part, but that makes it all the more worthwhile. Because the best thing in the best things in life are A, not easy, and B, worth it? I don't know. It sounded better in my head before it started coming out, but the best things in life are worth working hard for. And they're just not easy to come by, I guess. I don't know where I was going with that other than that. So, yeah. Brain power, not at 100%. If my brain were a V8, I'm running on about 6 today. My timing belt's off a little bit. As it were. Man, this just looks nuts. And this is the default scattered clouds. Didn't necessarily feel like going super fancy with the weather presets, although I really enjoy them. I decided that I was going to just follow the KISS rule, but keep it simple. And such a wonderful looking countryside. It's absolutely gorgeous. And this is just flight sim. I can't imagine what it's like in real life down on the ground. Those of you that are fortunate and blessed enough to live in that part of the world, you're a lucky bunch. And I hope to get over and see it for myself one day. And here's the wonderful thing. Here's the wonderful thing. I think being from where I am and seemingly to have similar weather patterns, I think I could enjoy it just as much as I enjoy being home, which I find just a blessing, because that's just means that I'll see it for what it is, and that to me is the beauty of the whole thing. Although I'm still kind of curious as to what these are. You know, what's going on here. It's like green, 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 green. Farm? And another one over here and here. Peat bogs. Interesting. John E. says Ireland is his favorite country that he's visited. I can see why. So we are on our way to Casement Aerodrome. So a kind of a reoccurring theme over the last week has been I've been exploring areas of the world from members of the community. I started off last Sunday around the Atlantic City area, since that's the part of the world upstanding community member Ed Reed is from around. And then last Tuesday, we flew around Texas, the area of which upstanding community member Scott Voigt is from. And then last Thursday, our most recent stream was in the St. Louis, Missouri, Kansas City, Missouri area to honor our good friend Jim Oates. And today it's kind of a combination of honoring our great friend, or friends, Two-Tone Murphy and Stuart Payne. Both good folks, and we're checking out their neck of the woods today. Look at the pink clouds. You didn't get this with FSX. It's so good. Look at that. This is why I fly at this time of day. I could geek out about all of this for hours. Just how good it looks. Lighting to me is just a huge deal when it comes to immersion in any kind of video game. If the lighting is off, it's just not believable. It can still look good, but it's just not as believable. When the lighting is right, like this, it's unreal. Look at that. You can't see that and tell me that that isn't cool. That's just gorgeous. So I think we're around the Burr area. I could be wrong. I could very easily be wrong. But it's roughly halfway to Dublin. Well, Casement Aerodrome. I was going to go to Dublin, but I don't have the new scenery for Dublin just yet. But it looks fantastic. North of Burr. Okay, so Burr is that way. Since we were flying east. But the new Dublin Airport by MK Studios, I believe it's released through Orbex. It looks great, but I don't have it yet, and that's okay. It shall come in time. Let's look at the clouds. Look at all of that. I didn't know what the live weather was going to be like, so I decided just to go with scattered clouds because it's always the good backup option. Here's the 8,000-year-old butter. Oh my. Gur is from Burr. Welcome, Gur. Glad you're here. We're a little north of Burr, on our way to Casement Aerodrome near London, Dublin. We took off from Galway, and we're just observing the beauty of that which is the Emerald Isle of Ireland. I wonder what 8,000-year-old butter looks like, or tastes like even. My curiosity has been piqued a little bit. Let's see, we've got... Ooh, a Seneca. He's not in the Mooney after all. But was the 4,000-year-old tribal king still... Was it like a Captain America situation, or was he thoroughly mummified? You know, the curious minds want to know. Merlin's Flyer says, very peaty. Johnny, 8,000-year-old butter. What kind of planes? They probably look something like the Blériot 11. Quite rudimentary and square tires. Or like the round wheel of wood. Huh. Fascinating. Bad Dog is here, lurking in the background. I hope you're well, my friend. Yeah, the Blériot .0000000001 version. Invented before Blériot even knew that it was a Blériot. Galway. Galway is... Galway. Main M4 Dublin to Galway road was built on an esker. What is an esker? I'm learning all kinds of things. Looks like a nice town. Aha! Gotcha. The glacial ridge from the Ice Age. Nice. Yeah, you get to be Professor Murph in the... I just get to look like the dude learning. Professor Murphy in the Seminole today. Right there. So we're starting to get close to the airspace. We're still about 35 miles out, nautical miles out. Just make sure everything is going hunky-dory inside of the cockpit. We look towards the sunrise. And it's about a 2-hour drive from Dublin to Galway. About half of that flying in a DA40. I saw some plans, or some scenery makers' roadmap, and it included Cork. So I thought that was interesting. That'll be neat to see. I think Ireland deserves to have lots of scenery updates. I know that the UK is getting an update at the end of January for Flight Sim. And all these windmills. You can see my fans. Ah, MK Studios also doing Cork. Awesome. It'll be nice to see some consistency then. Depending on how many sheep are in the road. I believe it. It's just absolutely stunning scenery. That sounds awesome, Murph. I can't wait to see. Jepson does a great job with the scenery stuff. And I can't wait to see what more he comes up with. He does a phenomenal job. We fly through this cloud. There's the sun. It's almost an 80s album cover. Look at that. Can't wait to see it, Jepson. You do very, very good work. So we're definitely sneaking into the greater Dublin airspace. And I just, if I go silent, it's probably just me just going, you know, with my jaw hanging down, drooling at how beautiful it all looks. Mad Lad Chaotic is in the house. Yep, we're flying the DA40-NGX with the community mod installed. Fun little airplane. We're currently flying from Galway, Ireland, all the way out to Casement Aerodrome near Dublin. From there, we'll be flying over a body of water I don't know the name of off the top of my head, over to Wales. And flying across Wales, we'll get to see the Mach Loop from overhead. Yeah, I thought it was a nice little exploration flight to honor the fantastic community members of Two-Tone Murphy and Stuart Payne, as has been my rolling theme for the last week or so. As we see the VL3, another fun little airplane. It's not too bad. It's 2 hours, give or take. The community mod adds a little bit of oomph to the engine. We have the Fireflies with us. we have a wonderful community that we all like flying together. It's if you've ever seen the Mighty Ducks, ducks fly together. That were fireflies, I guess. Still works. Managed to reestablish a 5.1 gigahertz overclock on your old 7700 crate. Nice. We're about 16 miles out of Casement Aerodrome. And the screenshots are already coming in. We can see, I'm pretty sure that is Casement Aerodrome right there. Can't wait to see Jeppesen 2001's edition of it. So we're going to go ahead and look for heading mode. We're going to set it to about, we're on a 096, so we'll do a 080 heading. That way we can get better lined up with the runway for landing. I'll get down first, get positioned so that we can watch the landings of the fireflies. It is pretty amazing. It's worth every performance hit that it makes, which surprisingly enough isn't that bad. But we'll do a straight-in approach for that runway. Do. Pardon me. Let's see, airport inform. That's not the right one. Huh. And Navigraph doesn't have charts for EIME. You never know, it could be. So we're going to go ahead and disable the autopilot. We're going to reduce power. We're going to start hand flying this bad boy as we come in for landing. I would bet that the real big Christmas sales should be happening this week, seeing as it's the week before Christmas. So I'll land first, get positioned so that I can record everyone's landing. I keep wanting to say film, and film just isn't right because it's an old school term. Yeah, it didn't come through immediately. I didn't need the chart exactly right now. I was just kind of looking it up, or going to look it up, but it wasn't a big deal. So we're about to fly over Newcastle on the way to land at Casement Aerodrome. There are 3 Newcastles in Ireland. Kind of ran out of place names. That's... Well, I mean, it's kind of like over here in the U.S. We have an untold number of Springfields. It's kind of hilarious. Which I think was some of the motivation behind them using Springfield for the Simpsons, because there's so many of them they couldn't necessarily pinpoint until they officially did at some point. Enter that into TV shows that should have been canceled a long time ago. This Newcastle is newer than this Newcastle. Well, I guess if it's not a new castle, it shouldn't be. It should just be castle. Last year's castle. As Mr. Chippy has rambled in, welcome, my friend. Glad you could make it. That was all the flaps. That was all the flaps. We're a little high on the glide slope, but that's okay. Some of the villages are called Nace. Nice. As Chippy has been lurking for a while now. Now we're almost on glide slope, but we're off center, so we need to move to the left a little bit. On glide slope. She's getting a little bouncy. A little low, so we add some power in. Real low. Skimming the trees now. A little bit of a bounce, but that's okay. That's mostly because of terrain. Oh. 2. A little bit on the brakes, pull back on the yoke. Pull the flaps up. We'll exit the runway, get parked up, get into the drone cam. Definitely not 8,000-year-old butter. But nonetheless, it was, at the very least, store brand butter. So we'll get parked up here. Get in ye old drone cam. First up is Zostris in a Funanza. Bit of a bounce, but that's okay. Another Bonanza in the Bonanza of John E. Looks like Zostris has gone for a go-around. Hopefully the Irish Air Corps doesn't mind us doing a bit of a group landing here. Please don't call out the guards. Just a bunch of fireflies on the road, as it were. As Papa Joe B in another Bonanza, making a very nice approach. And touchdown, nicely done. Another DA40 of Merlin Flyer inbound. Nicely done. Could it be a Seneca? Or Seminole? Nope, it's a Bonanza. USA PR1 is in. Nicely done. And yet another Bonanza of... Oh, it's Zostrous again on take number 2. That's a... We'll call that a Navy landing. It's still a good one, but you may have to see a mechanic afterwards, but you'll get better. That's quite alright. How we learn. So who is next? There's Dougal McTavish in another Bonanza. Catbat 9 in a Bonanza. Nice landings by everyone so far. Fair enough. You did well. This could be a Seminole. Nope, it's an X-Cub and a Seminole, so we got Tortuga and Murphy sharing the runway. Along with Belbro in the Mooney, using the door as a speed brake. I'm afraid to look, but I think we might. That might be all of us. Nope, there's Commandant Muttley, our last one for this stop. And we're down. Well done, everyone. Some fantastic landings here at Casement Aerodrome. We zoom back to our plane. Gonna carry on. You have a good night, John. Glad you were able to join us for as long as you were. I hope you have a good night and that you feel better. Well, if we catch any whales, you'll be the first to know. Ooh, there's some chop. That's an odd amount of chop just out of nowhere. Roger that, Tortuga. We shan't be getting too far. I'm not sure where all this chop came from. It's odd. Seems to have smoothed out a little bit. So we'll put in 1 notch of flaps. We're gonna reset our trim. So we'll pull back on the yoke a little bit. We'll get up to the hold short. Wait a moment for everyone to get up to the runway. As Murphy's buddy lives off just to the right, we'll wave as we take off. You'll have to let him know. Maybe next time we swing by Casement, we can pick up some pints from your friend. Welcome, Ibuprofen 007. Very glad to have you along. We're here on our first stop of the evening at Casement Aerodrome, just outside Dublin. We started off at Galway, and now we're heading over the sea into Wales. I can imagine, Murph. But just think of it this way. It's only a couple hours away from you. And you can always get a look over it in flight sim whenever you get homesick. I believe that's most everybody except for Mr. McTavish. So we're going to go ahead and release the parking brake. We're going to go ahead and get up in the air. Do our casual orbit of the airfield. "100% Murphy. They could not have picked. There could not have been a better time for this to come out than the year that we've had, where everybody's been, or most everybody's been locked up inside, can't travel anywhere. This of all years was the year it needed to come out. Give everyone a sense of being able to travel and explore. So we're going to go ahead and slowly advance the throttle. Bit of right rudder, a little left, a little bit of a dance. And she's up. Oh, there we go. That's 300 feet. Flaps are coming up. We'll begin our lazy left-hand turn as everyone gets airborne. There appears to be a bit of a golf course right outside the airfield with floating lights going on it. Yeah, and I think that's one of the things that's really fueled this community is we all have the desire to travel, and with being locked up and such, Flight Sim has been that escape that we've needed to be able to travel and feel that need to travel, but not really go anywhere. So as we go over this end of the runway, we'll do a bit of a wing wave to Murphy's friends, so everybody, as they pass over this part of the airfield, do a wing wave. Hopefully Murph lets his buddy know that we all waved as we went by. What Murphy says. So you see Fast P-84 and Tortuga on the ground. As we see Dublin off to the distance. Ooh, as I try not to sneeze. Lovely place for an aerodrome. Of course, as an American, this seems small for an Air Force base, but being intellectually developed, I do understand that it fits the needs of the size of the country. It doesn't need to be as big as an American Air Force base. So it does the job that it needs to do. That's all. Hey Peter, how are you this fine evening? I hope you're well. So as we're going to go ahead and reactivate nav mode and reactivate le autopilot. Vertical speed, if it wants to function. Vertical speed one. There we go. Mr. Tommy is here as Captain Riku has just subscribed. I am in fact using the DA40-NGX mod. I do quite enjoy it, along with the working title G1000 mod. Captain Rico is also here. What's going on, everyone? Dougal sent you here. Well, welcome. What the words are hard. Words are very hard. Dougal sent Captain Rico. No, we are just hitting cruise altitude, so we're gonna back off the throttle. We're gonna go down to a load of 80% for cruise. As we look over, make sure everything is good. it did the job of climbing us to our cruise altitude, but now we've dialed it back. Those buttons. Launch DCS on top of 2020. Lost your controls. Whoops. I think I'm running the latest version. That's an excellent question. I want to think that I am, but I can't confirm it right off the top of my head. No, I am on 2.4. I have not downloaded 5.1 yet. ECU voters. Let's see. I don't even know what that is. Where are you? ECU voter switch. ECU voter. That's transpond. Aha. Voters. Yep. Nope. Don't have that yet. Yeah, according to flightsim.to and my download history, I'm running 0.2.4, and it says current version is 0.2.5.1. So I've not yet gotten the latest version, but I will say that I do very much enjoy it, and I'm very grateful for the modding that the community does, and you specifically have done for this particular aircraft. You've done a fine job. Nope, you're right. That is okay. I'm on 062. I'm not on 063. My apologies. According to flightsim.to, the DA62X project, it tells me that I'm on 2.4, and current version is 2.5.1. It's all good, but I will make sure I update those after the stream tonight. For the latest versions. But shout out to Mr. Tommy MXR for being the author of the community mod of the DA40 and the DA62. I don't know how y'all do it, but you do a great job. Aha! That explains it. Well done regardless. It's a fine piece of work, and I do greatly enjoy it. You use your brain. That's a good way to start. I don't have the brain power to do such things. See, Peter is flying directly over his house. He's flying over his house while staying in his house. Things that will only make sense in 2020 or in Flight Sim. So we started out, it was 0800, and it was dark, and the lights were on. But now, the sun's out, as we... And is that not a postcard or what? That's just... I know, Murph. I know. It's nuts. I'm telling you. I know. Needs more cowbell. So we are flying over water now on our way to Wales. I don't know if this is technically the Irish Sea or if it's just considered the Atlantic Ocean. But regardless, we're flying over it. I can do the talking and the walking. If you enjoy Christopher Walken, look up the music video for Weapon of Choice. I can't. It's hilarious. The Irish or Celtic Sea. Gotcha? At some point in time, I will end up figuring out some Irish, or Gaelic, how to pronounce some words and not sound like a buffoon. You have a good one, Mr. Tommy MXR. Thank you for the mod, and we hope you have a good rest of your weekend. You rest well. This is the Irish Sea. Look at the state of that. I just... I can't get over it. And you see the currents in the water, and you see the reflection of the sun in the clouds, and... it's so good. That was pretty cool. So over the... Was it over the last night? Yesterday, last night? It's all kind of a blur. The generous Two-Tone Murphy did a giveaway for the Eurofighter Typhoon, and it does look like it has improved greatly from initial release. Just seeing screenshots of the exterior, it looks like they fixed some of the exterior view textures, and it looks well done, at least at a cursory glance. Fortunately, I was not able... Well, I wasn't able to make the stream yesterday whilst he was flying it around. I was otherwise engaged with some friends, some other friends, doing some 10 hours of tabletop gaming, and missed out on most of it, but it's always up on the YouTube for watching. Aha! The question is, how does the cockpit look compared to the last time I saw it? I'd be interested to see that. I didn't do that. Better, added 4K displays and fixed a lot of the textures, not 100% yet, but so much better than well, that's good. And with Allie's subscription early in the stream, it gave us a new Twitch emote. Well, I think we'll try and find the... because Twitch has in it somewhere a wonderful emoji of Murphy. I just need to be able to find it again. And now we have Murphy's face down in the chat. You're not safe anywhere. Oh, good. We're going to have a Santa Murph, everybody. We're one step closer. Oh, look at the state of that. It's so good. It's going to get repetitive me saying that, but it does look so fantastic. It just objectively does. If you don't think that looks good, you need to reevaluate. Well, see, here's the thing. You can be Santa Murph. Santa Murph doesn't necessarily need the beard, but he has to have the hat. Maybe the coat. Could even go with a green coat. As long as it's under the coat, that's fine. What's under the coat stays under the coat. See, Ibuprofen says hi and thanks for the gift panel subscription a few days back. Yes, Allison was very kind and gifted a handful of subscriptions to the channel, which I am very grateful for. Your generosity is amazing. I know you had a rough week this last week, Allison, but we're just glad you're here, and we're thankful and grateful for your generosity. See, if Murph plays it right, he can get the green coat, and he'll basically vanish. He'll just be a floating head, basically, with a Santa hat. Ailerons Into the Wind is here. Welcome, my friend. For the love of his sanity and eyes, please, no mankini. Santa head. Santa Murph head. Yes, we all have Mrs. Two-Tone on our side. So we are part way to Wales. That's not the button I wanted. There we go. We're halfway over the Irish Sea. And I reckon that I've heard this next stop pronounced at some point, but I've completely forgotten how it's pronounced. God, a Brawley. I don't know what that is. So we're going to Echo Golf Charlie Kilo. Will be the next site of our next set of landings in about 34 nautical miles. As we continue over looking at the sunrise over the Irish Sea. Aha! I'm from Michigan. I don't need an umbrella. If it's not raining, we ain't training, as the old saying goes. And I do like training. Catbat 9 is going for a tasty beverage in the famous man's mug. Aha, I see our friend Ailerons just peeking over the seat. In the group of fireflies behind us. If it's square, we be there. If it's not showing, we ain't going. Yeah, we're just running on scattered clouds for right now. I wasn't sure what the real weather was, and as it was, I started the stream itself late. Lost track of time. Happens to the best of us. I hate to see it happen. It's a rookie mistake. But it does indeed happen to the best of us. We'll expect to land on runway 8. As the fireflies gather towards the whales. That was gonna go somewhere, and I poof, train popped right off the tracks. Best time of day to fly is in the golden hour. Runway 25 according to little nav map weather. Well, if I were running real weather, it would probably work, but I'm just currently on scattered clouds. So the wind should be calm. In theory. Although, what does our G1000 say? 5 knots. So we're in a headwind. I don't know that it even has a runway 25. Right, actually it does. Well, it has a 26, an 826. So we can fly around to 26. But we're still 20 odd, about 22 nautical miles out. So this will be our first stop in Wales. The Caernarfon? California? Yeah, 34 knots in the live weather. Yeah, that would not be fun at all. I'm showing about 270 at 5 knots on the in-sim scattered clouds weather. Caernarfon. Caernarfon. Caernarfon? Caernarfon. Or Caernarfon? Caernarfon. I've butchered it several times by now. If it were a cow, it would have been killed at least 3 times. Which means you butcher the cow, you cook the steak to well done, which means you just killed it twice, and then I decided to throw it back into the fire and turn it into basically a briquette. Caernarfon. Caernarfon. Gotcha, Caernarfon. 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 Arr. Yer. We be pirates up in here. Yer. Caernarfon. Yo ho ho and a bottle of rum. What do you do with a drunken sailor? And all that. I don't know. Is piratey stuff as big over in Europe as it is a kind of a thing over in the U.S.? Another kind of... Because I think most of that happened in the Caribbean. And for a while, the British controlled the Caribbean. I think they still have stake in there somewhere. Yeah, I mean, I'm going to butcher it a lot over the course of my life. I'm going to do a reasonable effort to try to pronounce things correctly. But I've accepted that it's my lot in life to just butcher names horribly more often than not. I like to just say that it's a service I provide on the channel at no extra cost. Yep. The wonderful thing is that, too, as much as I have problems with a lot of things over in Europe, I can get y'all, all the Europeans, with some Native American stuff and a little bit of French. You know, being a mission like Tequamanon Falls and the Ojibwe. See, what happened to Murph on Friday with him taking a nap was similar to what happened to me today, except I had quite the day yesterday, and then today it's just been all kind of blur, like I don't even know what time it is anymore. And then I look down at the clock and it's 10 after 3. Whoops, I should have been live about 10 minutes ago. My brains took a bit of a holiday today. In fact, I didn't have a flight plan until about 11 a.m. my time. So about 4 o'clock in Ireland. And even then, I didn't put it in correctly. So it was, as I like to call it, a comedy of errors. Caernarfon. I'm just going to say Caernarfon. So as we're appearing, Caernarfon. Narf. What are we going to do tonight, Brian? Same thing we do every night. Try to take over the world. The pinky and the brain. Pinky and the brain. One is a genius, the other insane. As we disable the autopilot and reduce power and start our descent. No, it absolutely looks brilliantly beautiful. It looks absolutely fantastic. See, I don't know. It's kind of ironic because being an American, I find, you know, a lot of the landscapes in Europe to be quite beautiful, but it's a lot of the same kind of landscape we have here in the United States. You know, ranging from tall mountains to, I mean, I think the only thing that we have that Europe doesn't is desert. But we share much of the same environmental variety, and yet we do things differently, which is not a bad thing. Just I find it interesting. I guess I enjoy seeing the differences and just seeing, you know, comparing how we do things over here and how y'all do things over there, and celebrating the you know, differences, because if everybody did everything the same, life would be really boring. Okay, so we're going to make a left-hand turn because we have the runway in sight. We're going to loop around this way and come in. As we see Roger RC spawn in. Continue our descent. And it is beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. If a picture can say 1,000 words, I think a flight sim can say about 3 million. But that may also be me being slightly presumptuous. Okay, we're in the white arc, so we will one notch of flaps. Hey Rogers, how you doing? Glad to see you along. Hope you're well and hope you had a good weekend. Go ahead and just throw that last notch of flaps in as we start circling in. Well, I hope you enjoy the landings, Allison, as you drift off to slumber this fine evening. Roger that, Roger. Well, we're underway. As I need to add some power, I'm going to land into this neighborhood. That just won't do. I think the last time we landed at this airport, there's a lot of caravans. That was a nice landing. Alright, we're gonna heater off this way. Go ahead and stop her here. Parking brake set. And the camera's slow again. As ailerons into the wind is our first lander. In the SR-22. Nicely done, nicely done. There's Catbat 9 in the first Bonanza. I think ailerons is going with the real weather. As Commandant Muttley right over the numbers and is down. Nicely done. As Murphy lands in the Seminole. Nice. Right on the center line. There's our first Mooney, Belbro. As we have more Fireflies inbound. There's Fast Pete. Nice. Very nice. Very well done, Pete. Keen Lafford is in. You're not late. You arrived exactly when you needed to. We are on our second stop of the evening with one more to go. And the Air Force Bonanza is Papa Joe B. Nicely done. Nicely done. Here comes our next friend. Dougal McTavish, right on the numbers. Well done, sir. That is a very smooth landing. As Merlin Flyer is in. Right on the center line as well. Nicely done. That everybody? Feel like we have more inbound. Yeah, we do. Tortuga is in. Nicely done. Only 155 days until the Eurovision, as all of our Fireflies are in. Beautiful scenery here. Absolutely gorgeous. So we'll take off. We'll depart from the runway 23 or 26. So we'll make our way down there as we head to our final stop of the evening. We hit the old parking brake. Gonna reset our trim. As Murph heads to the co-pilot seat, glad you flew along for the first part of the trip, my friend. I wish you a restful evening and a good day at work tomorrow. You have a good night, Allison. Glad you were along for the flight. And we will catch you on the Discord and in the next stream. We'll make our way to the departure. Excuse me, pardon me, don't mind me. Just gonna weave my way on through. You all have a fine evening. As Jenna Caitlin has just followed on Twitch. Many thanks, my friend. Glad you're along. Hope you enjoy the flight. We're going to continue our way down to the approach end. And we'll go ahead and take off, do our leisurely left-hand orbit of the airfield before continuing along to our final stop. So here we are on the runway, slowly adding the power in. Stay safe and healthy as well, ibuprofen. We wish you nothing but the best. As we have liftoff. We fly over the sea. There's 200 feet. There's 300 feet. Flaps are coming up. Pull back on the load a little bit and then go start our left-hand orbit. We watch all our Fireflies make their departures from the airfield. We'll do another full loop as to also gain some altitude. That's a neat little airfield, I'll say that. On a little peninsula. And the reflections, the lighting is just so good. So as we continue around our loop, we're going to go ahead and get our autopilot ready. So set vertical speed 500 feet a minute, altitude is set. Let's see, wanted that on Q, and we'll go ahead and activate the autopilot as we go from Echo Golf Charlie Kilo to Echo Golf Bravo Sierra. And the one thing I always forget to do with the G1000 aircraft is use the proper setting for the altimeter, or the transponder. I'm accustomed to the old school radios, if you couldn't tell. Once we reach cruise altitude, we'll go to cruise power. I do believe that on this leg we will fly over, or at least in the vicinity of, the Mach loop. We're basically at cruise altitude, so we're going to dial it back to a 75% load. As our friend Ailerons into the Wind is out in the mountains, in the Mach loop. Look at the state of the scenery, though. Does the DA40 mod improve climb performance? Climb performance, it improves the overall power settings. It makes it a little faster. I completely think that the DA40-NGX mod is completely worth it. Granted, I can't really compare it to stock. I can only go by the notes that it gives, but it does increase like climb performance and engine performance and fuel consumption and all that jazz, and controls. I guess it does the automatic prop pitch control thing, something. I don't fully understand it. We're catching up with Dougal, and Ailerons is going through the beautiful valleys. It is absolutely stunning. Very nice. It's a beautiful place to be flying in the real world, I'll tell you that. It looks amazing in the sim. I can only imagine it looks 10 times better in the real world. Good to know, ailerons. VOR frequency is 117.45. Dougal says he did some target acquisition training here. Seems like a good place for it. Beautiful countryside. If you climb Mount Snowdon, you are rewarded with a dinner at the summit. Very nice. Absolutely stunning scenery. A little bit. But it looks like we'll get a little bit of clear sky here in a minute. Me, it just kind of adds to the epicness of just kind of a showcase of the graphics. So Ailerons did the Cambion Patrol and Sharpshooter course out of Cinnybridge. Nice. So I think the mock loop is over in this general vicinity. Bottom, we'll make that. We'll adjust the clouds just a little bit. We'll cheat. Just Googling the Cambion Patrol makes... Oh dear. Well, don't do anything that makes you feel bad. That's for sure. There we go. Here between the locals and the Miller, I would bet. This looks like it'd be a fun place to camp at least. I'd say hunt, but I don't know what the local... If this were in the United States, it'd be great hunting grounds. I'll say that. It's just absolutely stunning. Wild camping here is amazing. Not much deer here, though. Gotcha. I see here, over here, where I'm at, IRL, I see more deer in the city than I do in the country, because they know that it's safer in the city than it is in the country. Absolutely beautiful countryside, though. Yeah, I think Mach Loop somewhere in here. This general area. I believe that Stuart's on the hunt. Ah, so Stuart is on the northern entrance of the Mach Loop. Just look at the state of it. Look at that. That's just cool. As Stuart goes for the Death Star run. Just look at it. It'd almost be an advertisement for Diamond Aircraft. Just absolutely stunning. What more is there to say? I mean, why have a dictionary? I couldn't pick the words to adequately describe what I'm seeing here. With me, you'll see a world of imagination. Those weren't the words, but they're what's come to mind. Come with me and you'll see a world of pure imagination. I think that's the proper words. Well, absolutely gorgeous. So that's either got to be a series of roads, paths, or interesting rivers. Ah. Good to know. Beautiful countryside, just absolutely stunning. Beautiful. Not a lot to see straight ahead, though. Honey Fan, home of the fan dance, is just to the southeast. Which happens to be the direction we're heading. Just gorgeous. Yep, there's the fans. All of my lovely fans. So we'll jump in the cockpit for a little bit. As we're approximately 30 nautical miles out. Fantastic. What a nice and relaxing trip for a nice and relaxing Sunday. Getting ourselves ready for the coming week. As we inch closer and closer to the end of the year, reminiscing on all the things that we're thankful for. Focusing on making next year a better year. Being grateful for what we have. Being thankful for the opportunities that we've been able to explore. For the wonderful people that we've met. And just for what experiences we were able to experience this year. And finding the silver linings. Because it is the easy path to let it get the best of you. but it's far more rewarding and a difficult path to find the silver lining than to find the good things that have come out of the year, that have given us pause to remember that, be thankful for what we have. Papa Joe B says there's a big snowstorm forecasted for the East Coast on Wednesday, currently coming through the middle of the USA. It's entirely plausible. It has gotten a bit colder. It rained here where I'm at yesterday. Today started out mildly sunny, but had gotten progressively cloudy over the course of the day. Of course, now the sun is down. I go to no, I don't want forecast prog charts. If I look at the prog charts for the USA, let's see, one surface. Looks like we will be getting snow on Monday here as it goes through the country. I'm going to put this link into the chat because I think it's interesting information. So, as Dougal has to take the leave, you have a great evening, my friend, and we shall catch you on the Discord and in the next stream. We're grateful you were along, and we'll catch you at the next time. Wisdom says it's raining in Northern California, which means a lot of snow in Tahoe. Sounds like it's almost time for skiing. So we're approximately 18 nautical miles out, flying over the beautiful Welsh landscape. With all of our Firefly friends. Absolutely beautiful flight today, everyone. Thank you for coming along. As always, it's always a pleasure. And the only technical issue we had was me starting out late because I got distracted. I allowed myself to get distracted. Started the stream late, but all of you being as patient as you are stuck around. And we've enjoyed quite the tour of a little bit of Ireland, a little bit of the Celtic Sea, and a mere portion of Wales. I find it lovely to explore places that I've never been, and it makes me want to travel there in real life once we're able to do such things. Yeah, it is stunning there, Murph. It just is. Once we're able to travel again, and I get the ability to the area of Ireland and Wales and Scotland and Britain are places all, even northern, especially, and beyond that, also I'd love to visit Normandy. I'd love to be able to take 2 weeks and visit Europe. Spend some time in Ireland, spend some time in Scotland and Wales and Britain, head down to France, visit Normandy, maybe visit the Black Forest in Germany. And maybe, I say 2 weeks, but that's me thinking of it like I'm in the U.S. Because, let's be fair, Europe is sizable, for sure. I don't have a frame of reference as far as, or at least off the top of my head, of distance. And I figure 2 weeks is enough to at least see a little bit of everything. There's so much in Europe that I would love to visit, love to explore. There's so much history. Centuries of history. Millennia of history, for that matter, in Europe. And seeing bits of World War I battlefields. It's just, there's so much to see in Europe that I'd love to see. That I really should make a list. But it would be much more pertinent once we're able to travel to make such a list. So we're 5 nautical miles out from the airfield. We're going to go ahead and disengage the autopilot, start reducing power, and begin our descent. So we'll head to the east a little bit so that we can get a proper approach. as we're looking to get visual confirmation of the airfield. That don't currently have. There be it. Okay, it was that, after all. So we're going to adjust accordingly. So we're in the white arc, 1 notch of flaps. So I'll get down first, and then I'll get situated to record the landings. That last notch of flaps in. We'll follow Stuart in. A little on the glide slope, but that's okay. Put a little bit more rudder into it. A little bouncy, that's okay. A lot of wide asphalt on this one. We'll pull off to the side down here. Set the parking brake, get our landing cam out. Can't help but feel like there's an issue with this, because it seems like it has 2 runway 26s. Perhaps one is for gliders and one is not. I don't know. Whoa, too far. There's Zomtris with a nice landing. USA PR1 donated $10. Let's see, received my Christmas bonus. Now I can share it with helpful and educational people like yourself. Thank you for all the informative help. Best regards from the U.S. Caribbean. P.S. If possible, please check volume for the needed tunes. Thanks. I will do so. And many thanks, my friend. As Merlin Flyer, Cat Bat are in, and Commandant Muttley. Nice job, everyone. Papa Joe B with the Bonanza. Nicely done. Bellbro's in with the Mooney. Nicely done. I feel like there's more. There's USA PR1. I see Roger Tortuga. All inbound. And Fast Pete. Zoom out. We'll zoom back in. There's Tortuga in the Seminole. Yeah, just a bit. Here's Fast Pete. Nice job, well, to everybody so far. As we await our final landers. As here's Roger. Weather does have a tendency to do that. As the saying goes, the best laid plans of mice and men are oft to go awry. And you can't control the weather. But I'm sure your landing was fantastic. And with the King Air, USA PR1. I think that is everyone. Certainly appears to be. So to everyone that I bet he did too, Wisdom. Well, to everybody that flew along or watched along, to the donations, to the subscriptions, to the follows, I'm all humbled and grateful for all of you for coming with me on the journey of Flight Sim and exploring a little bit of Ireland, a little bit of England, a little bit of Wales, and a little bit of the Celtic Irish Sea. As we continue our adventures of exploring the world in the world of Flight Sim. We'll be back on Tuesday, same time, 2000 Zulu, which equates to about 8 p.m. Irish or UTC. I'm grateful for all of you. I'm grateful for the time that we've spent together. I'm grateful for the community. But until next time, be good to each other. Stay safe out there. And we'll catch you next time. Bye-bye.